Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing my Project Pan update for, what are we actually calling this? So this is my February usage. I'm updating on March 5th, but this year I am doing a rolling 10 pan style. So I have 10 products, and when I use one up, I will roll something new in. And I do have an empty this month, so I'm super excited about that. And we also hit some pans. So if you are interested in panning content, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe for more, and let's go ahead and get into it. So we'll go in the order that it's on my spreadsheet, and then we'll have my empty at the end so that we can have our roll in. So my first product that I have is my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. And again, I think I said in past videos that this won't get used up until like November. So we're still making slow, steady progress on it. I'll have progress pictures and comparisons popping up on the screen along with weights and weight differences. But this is what we're looking like right now. I use this every day that I do my makeup. So I did use this 22 times this month, and I had a difference of 0.39 grams. So I'm using on average about 0.3 to 0.35. Even though I did my makeup 22 times, I feel like I had a little bit more progress on this. And again, I just swirl my finger in there and then tap it out on my eyes. I know people will end up hitting pan on these and using them up quicker if they use a brush, but I just don't want to apply this to my lids with a brush. But I'm still loving this product, and overall I'm excited to continue to use it. And again, I think this is one of those things that it is definitely worth the money to have a product that lasts pretty much 2 years with consistent use as an eye primer. Next, we have my Believe Beauty foundation. So I have my marks along the side. So this is where we were last month, and here we are this month. Even though I used the foundation 22 times, I didn't have as much progress. And if you will watch my buys and buys that's coming up on the 14th or 15th, I was working on another foundation, or really a mix of foundations, to get that done and out of my collection. So I feel like I wasn't as focused on this, but overall I do feel like we will have only one more month of use on this product before it's done. Really, for a $5 foundation, this is beautiful. It has good coverage, it has good staying power, and I mean, I do want to try some other foundations out this year, but this would be something that I would go back to. And really, I have a Dollar General right down the street from me, so it'd be very, very easy for me to pick something like that up again. But we did go ahead, and I know a lot of us on here say we, because I feel like we are collectively doing project pans. So if I say we, I just mean me, you, everybody who is doing their project pans. But this month I did use up 7.14 grams of this foundation. Next, we have my Becca highlighter in Champagne Pop, and this is what we are looking like right now. So I did focus to go ahead and hit side pan. I feel like I'm going to need to repress this again, just to bring all the product back into the middle, but I'll have my comparison shots coming up on the screen. But we did end up using up 0.29 grams of this product. Again, 22 uses. I did my makeup 22 times in February. So I don't want to say that we'll have this out for next update. I feel like this is going to roll a little bit into April, but again, I'm going to repress it between now and next update, and I'll see what kind of use I can get on it once it is repressed. Next, I have the Becca bronzer. And I think last update I was like, I wonder if I'll hit pan. There was like a speck of material that was in the powder, that it was like a black speck of something, that it wasn't bronzer. And when I flicked it out, it did create a divot in the powder. And I feel like that powder ended up wearing away a lot quicker. And that is how we are looking like this today. So where that pan is kind of where that speck had come out of the powder. So overall, I mean, some of the sides are still, you can still see the ripple design in the side over here. So I feel like probably next month I'll have to repress this to get all the product into the middle, but overall I'm still loving this bronzer. It is what I'm wearing today. I go through bronzers because I take my bronzer down my neck. A lot of times when because my skin tone is so red and pink and I flush easily and I have the rosacea, I take as much as possible down my neck. So I am bronzing down my neck every single time that I wear bronzer. And so I think that is where I end up using a lot of bronzer, because I do take it all the way down my neck. But I ended up using 1.98 grams of this product this month. So that is less than we got through last month. But again, we got a beautiful pan on this product, and I am looking forward to using this up in the upcoming months. So we have our two lip products. So let's start with the lip liner. And my goodness, I have been using this lip liner every single time I do makeup for the past, I would have to look back, but I think since August of last year. So I had a couple lip liners from like L'Oreal that it would take me like 4 months to go through, but this seems like the everlasting lip liner. But I do feel like we are kind of at the end, and I put a mark on this side because this is where I assume that the product ends. I've never used up a ColourPop lip liner, so I'm not sure, but unfortunately this has become one of the products where the actual lip liner does come out. So this is all the product that is left. I just kind of mush it back in there and keep using it. I think eventually, of course, that little bit is going to fall out, and then I'm not sure if there's any more product below this line that I made. But still, with the like consistent progress, and again, I'll put my picture up to show you how much I'm using, I still feel like I have like 3 months of work on this lip liner. So again, I have 2 other ColourPop lip liners in my collection. I'm going to start using another one as soon as this one's done. But even with 2 lip liners, I have like 2 years worth of product. That to me is just insane. But I used up 0.4 grams of product this month on this one. But again, I still feel like I have another 2-3 months to go. So the other product is my ColourPop lipstick in Virgo Moon. This is how much we have left. This is what I'm wearing on my lips today. And I don't count how many times I use the lipstick because I do reapply throughout the day, and I'm not going to keep track of that. But I'll have my image pop up to show you the difference. I'm making steady progress. It's kind of like the same amount of progress every month. I had anticipated that I would be done with this in June, maybe July or August, depending on if I like slow down my progress. With this one, I think what I'm going to do, because I have quite a few lipsticks, I'm going to end up calling this done when it is down to the plastic. Of course, I'll end up digging out the rest of the product and using it as a cream blush, but for me, when this is done, it'll be down to the plastic. So I really hope that I will continue to have steady progress on this. I love the color. I love the formula. This is one of the velvets. Is this what it is? Velvet Blurs? And it does. It feels very, very velvety. It's very comfortable. I love reapplying this throughout the day. I feel like it gives me just a little bit of moisture to my lips. And so I have no problem whatsoever using this product. So this is our second new pan of this project. And this is my Bobbi Brown corrector. And if you can see right there in the middle, we have pan. I cleaned it up a little bit because as soon as I swirl my finger in there, then it gets kind of, it hides the pan. But we have pan. And I do like this product. I use it every single time I do makeup. I do it on the inner corners here to kind of combat some of my blueness. We did end up using up 1.3, which was a lot less than the 2-1 from last month, even though I did my makeup the same amount of times. So I don't know if I was just using this product a little bit more. I am using another concealer also, so I feel like I've been focusing more on that concealer and only putting this in the very inner corner instead of taking it out a little bit. So my usage did go down, but I still feel like I'm going to have another 4 or 5 months left on this product. Now, I would repurchase the Bobbi Brown corrector. I do like the formula, I like the color, but I would be interested to get it in the stick form, which they came out with last year, because again, putting my finger into this and then tapping it on, like then my grubby fingerprints get on everything, including this, which I'll clean it off real quick. But I feel like the stick form would just be so easy for me to just, you know, scribble here, and be done. But again, we're making steady progress on this. I really hope that a lot of these things are going to start kind of rolling out in the upcoming months because I'm getting really good use on them. All right, we have the e.l.f. Dewy Primer. Again, I love this product. This one is labeled with a number 3, if it's still kind of there. I have one more of these in my collection after I use this one up. We are getting super, super skinny, and so I anticipate, I don't think that we'll use this up in March, but it'll be used up in the very beginning of April. But I ended up getting 10.85 grams worth of use on this. I do use 2 pumps every single time I do my makeup. I am interested to, after I use this up, I'm going to end up using the e.l.f. gripping primer, the green one. I have it in my drawer, and this one has 1 fluid ounce while the other one has less. So while this one takes me about 66, 67 uses to use up, I feel like that one I'm going to end up going through a lot quicker, depending on if it's more tacky and I don't have to use as much. But I've used up enough of these that I know how many uses I'll get out of this. So I am just super thrilled to continue to use this. I love this product. It gives me good moisture. It makes my makeup stick. I am just going to be so sad when this is done. But again, these are getting older in my collection, so even though I love them and this has been discontinued, I'm going to end up using it up just because I don't want it to go bad before I'm actually able to enjoy it. Next, we have the Tarte Blush in Party. So I did expand the pan a little bit, and I'll go ahead and I'll show you the side-by-sides, but I only used this blush 8 times in February. I did use it 11 times in January, so I had more usage. So I only used 0.15 grams of this product. Like I said, I expanded the pan, and I feel like on this side where I put my brush into, it's really thin and worn down. You can't see the pattern over there anymore. It still will be a couple months before I feel like I need to repress this. I do love this blush. This is what I'm wearing today. So this is the blush I'm wearing today. I can pile this on. And that's why, number one, I love a blushy look. Like, even with all these lights, you guys can see my blush. Heaven forbid what I look like in person. But I love a blushy look. So I have no problem scrubbing my brush into here and just really buffing this in. And so I have no trouble whatsoever using this. Maybe I need to set a goal of using it at least 10 times a month to give myself steady progress on it. So maybe I'll shoot for that for March. I'll go ahead and I'll use this 10 times in March and see how far I can get with my progress on that one. But again, I'm looking at maybe the summertime of being able to use this blush up. So the product that I finished and then I'm rolling out, depending on if you know my products, you might be able to guess, but this is the number 7 powder, and you can see my spreadsheets in the reflection. But I finished this up. So I did end up finishing this on the 27th of February. So what I ended up doing, because I really just wanted to get this out of my collection, it's a beautiful product. I loved using it. I used to use it only for setting my under eyes, but in February I went ahead and I switched to using this to set my whole face, which again, it was a beautiful powder for that. I did repress this product, which I did a short on repressing it. I will link the short up in the eye if I can, which the eye is over here. So I will link it up in the eye over here, and I'll link it down below of when I repress this. I did end up repressing it one more time in February, just because, again, whenever I repressed it all the way out to the edges again, and when I hit pan again, I was still, you know, going around the ring. And right now I am applying my powder with a puff, and so it was hard to get my puff around the edge of the pan to pick up product, so I repressed it again. So probably with repressing, you know, anytime that you repress a product, you're going to end up using more because it's more loosely packed. But I still really enjoyed this. I'm trying to figure out what pressed powder I want to try next. I think I want to try the CoverGirl one. I've heard a lot of things about that product, and of course Tati has recommended it all the time, so I'm interested in trying that one. But for right now, it's not in my beauty budget to pick up a new powder, and the next product that I'm rolling in its place is the powder that I'm currently using. So if you've watched any of my inventory videos or collection videos, anything like that, I love to mix products together to make them work for me. So nondescript powder container. So I ordered these on Amazon. I can try to find these and link them down below. They came in a 2-pack, and they have a sifter in there and everything. Let me see, since I've been shaking it around. So they do have a sifter in there. So in here, I do have 1 container of the Too Faced Peach Perfect Powder and 1 container of the e.l.f. Halo Glow Powder. And basically I mixed those 2 powders together. They were both brand new, never been used. I mixed those 2 powders together, and then I separated them into 2 separate of these containers with equal amounts. I think it's like 30 something grams that ends up in both of these. But I put them in these 2, and that is what I'm using to set my face and set my under eyes. Number 1, the Peach Perfect Powder is amazing. Everyone says they're so sad that Too Faced discontinued it. They need to bring it back, even without the smell, even though I do like the smell. So, and this actually does still have the smell. So good. So good. So Too Faced, please bring back the Peach Perfect Powder. But also, I didn't really like the component of the Peach Perfect Powder with the lid, because when I set my face, I like to either dip a puff in there or I like to dip my sponge in there. So I like to have a little bit more powder sitting on my sifter. But let me go ahead and get this situated. And again, I'll have my picture pop up with my weights and all that. But since I fluffed up the powder, it's not going to look right. But if I tap the powder down, which, let me just tap it down real quick so we're at our actual line. Alrighty, so this is what I do when I measure it. Of course, if you like fluff your powder around and it gets air in it, it's gonna look, you know, like it's more powder, but I really tap mine down to get a good line. So this is where we're starting. This is probably 2 months of powder for me. I'm oily. I powder everything down. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep track of my usage. I'm gonna keep track of my weights, and we will come back. So this right now we're sitting at 46.29 grams for this powder, and so we'll go ahead and like I said, I'll do my measurements and we'll update next time to see where I'm at with this powder. So that was my update for my rolling 10 pan, but on the end of this one I do tack my Pan That palette. So this year I am trying to hit pan in all the shades in the Give It To Me Straight from ColourPop. So the way that I do that is I pull 4 shades out and I put them in this little Makeup Geek magnetic compact. And I do have different shades in here because I hit 2 pans. So if we open up this one here, this is what we're looking like. So I already had pan in this shade here, but if you can see, if it catches the light, I hit pan in this shade here and I hit pan in this shade here. So I currently have 3 pans in this palette. I think after I hit pan on everything, I'll end up putting all the shades back in here and just using this as a cohesive palette and just trying to expand pans after that. But right now I am just super thrilled about having 3 pans in this palette. Now I am still using this cream shade to set my lid every day. So I've hit pan on those others because I use particular brushes, and those brushes usually tend to burrow down in the product more. But since I'm using a very fluffy brush with this shade here to set my eyes, I still feel like I have another 2 or 3 months of using this as a lid setting shade before I'll hit pan on it. This shade here has the like micro glitters in it, which makes this shade a little bit more loosely packed. So anytime I go in there with my brush, a lot is kicking up. This shade here I am loving to use as my lower lash line, and that's what I actually have on my lower lash line today. And so again, this one, because I use kind of a smudger brush to do my lower lash line, and because I'm focusing the smudger brush in the pan, this one too will probably end up with more of a burrow type pan on it. But that is my current shade right now, and then this right here is my shimmer that I'm using, which is just a very beautiful copper shade. Yesterday I did a look exclusively with this quad, and I loved the way that it turned out. Alright guys, that was my update for my rolling project pan for 2023, and for next month, I'm not sure if I do have some rollouts. I'll kind of be surprised next month, but I'm looking at the highlighter, the primer, and the foundation as possible rollouts for next month, but I'll have to see how I get along with them. Otherwise, my usage in April is going to be insane, and I'm going to have to try to pick some products to work on after that. But thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching my project pan, and you guys have been so sweet with your comments and telling me about your projects and your progress. You guys are just amazing. I love when you guys leave comments because I love writing back to you and having conversations about makeup and beauty. If you would like to leave a comment, I would greatly appreciate it. Otherwise, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.